A shallow grave within an alcove along the edge of a dark subterranean lake weeps a noxious vapor. It mixes with the fetid, rotten fog that gently rolls along the marshy water's surface. A small, gray-skinned creature observes the intermingling of the gases, like a curator, unsure of what to think of the artist's work. He slowly turns to look to the shore across the lake. Barely visible in the fog, small figures toil along the banks opposite, digging shallow graves of their own in the muck and mud. The observer makes his way to a waiting rowboat and steps in gently. Another of his kind, waiting with oars ready, receives the nodding command to begin rowing to the other side. The first's bushy white eyebrows furrow and deepen with thought.
It's the best thing for the children.
A look of casual confidence is spread across the rower's face as they attempt to soothe.
The select will breathe a new kind of life into our task.
The observer gives an annoyed look.
Figuratively or metaphorically? Both, of course.
The observer glances back at the mixing fumes, roiling around each other like oil and water, trying to lead one another in a deadly dance.
I wonder. You'd prefer to do as the librarians have?
The observer scoffs.
Hardly. I've no taste for that sort of thing. Then perhaps you are unable to see the faithful for the flock.
The observer cocks a bushy eyebrow.
Didn't you use the same phrasing about the crops not long ago? Something about the mushroom for the cluster?
The rower scowls at the observation.
It's too late, anyhow. We've committed. You've committed.
The observer rolls his eyes.
I'm well aware. Don't mistake my thoughtfulness for pause. I was the first to conduct the immuration of the select, and I will perform each until the very last of the children. Of course.
The rower shifts an oar in its lock and lifts it out of the water, smoothly guiding the boat against the dock while other waiting kin tie it off. The two step out of the vessel and wander along the shore, quietly overseeing the grave digging next to the placid water. And the observer conjures up the image of each and every one of these laboring farmhands, shoved into their own pit and buried alive. For a greater purpose, of course. For longevity. For a service continued. This he has a taste for. And delight fills his heart at the thought.
Finding no enemy to dispatch in Belcor's old chambers, the heroes were able to more thoroughly explore the lair that the Void Glutton had made for itself. And upon discovering a rather macabre trophy room laced in the creature's ectoplasmic web, all were caught in a magical wave of despair, each of their minds flooded with personal images and visions, and their eyes flooded with tears. Unsure and unnerved as to why the dreaded wisp was no longer present, the heroes returned to my library to research further into the entity that lay beneath all of this. Dread Nimbaloth, the Empty Death. At great risk, Raphael used the Whispering Reeds to mete out these ends, and together they discovered much of the uncaring outer god, the predator of predators of the River of Souls, and her eternal patience, lingering on worlds ready to feed en masse in what is known as a dead tide. Lump, disguised as Sal, had returned to Otari in search of magical aids to reach the next level down, but had little luck. None, in fact. And upon returning to the vaults and walking through the upper levels alone, they were overwhelmed with an old and painful memory from long ago. As Lump rushed through the vaults, antagonized by their trauma, they were suddenly met with the formation of the ghost of Otari Vashti, who gave warning of Belcor's growing power below, begging to be saved from her grip.
A long time ago, in an era not so far away, I don't give me that look, Scott.
There's a legally distinct intro there.
I came around to the emoji. I really enjoyed the emoji as a way to respond or add some context, perhaps emotional, social context to my messaging. And even it's turned into, a fun thing to respond to. We do it all the time in the Discord and everything.
Okay, boomer.
I don't know, it took me a hot minute, but once I realized how fun and useful it could be, I loved it. And I'm actually not going to go down the road of what's your favorite emoji, although you can throw it out there if you like. What it reminded me of was how useful acronyms are when it comes to messaging as well, and how sometimes they can be very confusing. And it just made me think of how we use them in so many ways. Just a social context. Some people literally say them out loud. And then we use ones that are very specific to the things that we know and like, such as a role-playing game. Like I could ask quickly the whole group here what AOO means. And I think most of you would know. I actually might doubt Duncan does. Duncan might not know.
Opportunity? Oh, hell yeah.
Oh, he's got it. Okay.
Well, that was fucking rude.
Poorly misplaced outside of Duncan. I don't know. I just wasn't sure.
Wow.
But it just got me thinking about some acronyms that you constantly see used. Sometimes that you see the same one, you have to like relook it up every time. You're like, why can't this sit in my brain? And ones that are useful, ones that are maybe not useful. And I just think it's neat how some of them are applied to only such very specific things, such as games like this, like AOO or LOS. Who can tell me? I know Cam's probably going to know it right away. Who can tell me what LOS means in the context of this game? Anyone?
Line of sight.
Thank you. Yes. I just find that neat and interesting that is a thing that we would know. We're more like, you tell it to a random stranger, you're trying to tell them about what D&D might be. They're going to be like, shut the fuck up, And even some acronyms aren't even really acronyms. They're just weird shortenings of words. Like PJP always uses STH, and I always have to go, what does that mean again? But it's just a shortened version of the word something. I'm not sure where she got it, but she's the only person I know that uses it. And I think that's kind of just like a fascinating little concept. I use IIRC all the time, if I recall correctly. AFAIK, as far as I know. So on and so forth. Any stand out to you guys?
I always have to look up those last two that you just mentioned.
I actually go out of my way to not use colloquial acronyms. I'll use like the ones that have made it into the common lexicon, but I really try not to. Because I'm a fucking boomer and I don't understand what half of them mean.
I know you use lol a lot.
Yeah, I use lol when I'm stoned. Yeah. Otherwise, it's ha-ha.
Okay.
Ha-ha.
Yeah, I'm always more of a ha-ha
Wait a
than
second.
a lol guy.
Pretty sure you used lol with me about a half an hour ago, James.
I was high this afternoon.
Perfect.
I'm a ha-ha guy now, but I used to be a heh guy back in high school.
Yeah, I dropped it down to like just HEH. If you do HEH, it's fine, but it turns into he very quickly.
Yeah.
I always picture that little like the toad meme that's like.
Yeah.
Way.
But I'll lean on the ones that have made it into the lexicon, like laser and scuba and stuff like that. I got no beef with those, but
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah. Most people don't even realize those are acronyms. Or acronyms.
I like when I'm talking to someone who speaks Spanish and it says ha 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 with J's.
J's, yep.
That's always
Oh,
good
yeah,
time.
yeah.
Yeah,
Big
but
fan of
no, mine was AITA.
Yeah, I don't. I know I've seen it, but I can't think of what it is.
Am I the asshole?
Oh,
Yeah, you're the biggest Reddit user ever.
I was going to say anything in that.
no, I'm not. I literally am
Honestly,
subscribed to
better
the
ones.
Pathfinder 2nd edition subreddit and the Glass Cannon subreddit, and that's it. My Reddit usage is for this show. It is a lot, but it's just for this show.
So you're just naturally like this. Like, it's not even you're just naturally a Reddit user in your day-to-day life. It's not from, like, being part of that community.
No,
Ouch.
yeah, no, not at all.
Can we take it back to the emojis? Freeman, Boomer, what's your favorite emoji?
I love melting face. Melting face is a really good one. Sunglasses face is cool too.
I mean, the coolest.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Obviously. No one can discount the wonderful, hilarious opportunities that Eggplant offers.
And droplets of water, yeah.
And droplets of water. And I don't know what else. I actually, just like my ha-has, I tend to use different laughing emojis for different responses. So if something made me laugh out loud, I'll use the tilting on its head crying laughing emoji. If it made me go ha 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 ha, I use like just the sort of scrunched up face laughing emoji. I'll always use them specifically. I don't know why. I don't think it helps with the context really, but I do it for B.
I think that the kids these days, and this might even be behind now, but for a while they were using the skull if it was very
For
funny.
dead, yeah.
My favorite one is this face. I don't even know what you call it. Like that.
Grimacing.
Grimacing. I love that one. Just awkward.
I thought it was the poop emoji.
Son of a bitch.
Dunk, you got a favorite emoji?
Nah.
Yeah.
The shrugging one?
Yeah, the shrugging, I like the shit eating like little smirk one. Like I think it's just smirk. But
Oh yeah, the shit eating grin emoji.
yeah, the ain't I a little stinker face after saying something pithy. So
Probably like the wry smile or something like that.
That look was glued to your face for your whole
they
childhood.
modeled it off me.
Yeah.
The called up and they were like, "Hey, say something pithy and then give me a ain't I a little stinker face." I got an emoji.
Yeah.
We're going to make an ASCI out of it.
Yeah, some Japanese guy in the late 90s, early 2000s had to have a translated call.
Yeah, still ain't got the NFT money on that one, but
Cameron?
100. And then I also like somebody made a frag emoji that was hell yeah. And I use that one a lot.
Cam's using that all the time. I love it.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
James? Emoji guy?
I've resisted emojis. I do use them as reactions, but I'll never on purpose use them in text. Like I've deleted the keyboard from my phone. I'll live and die in the ASCII world. I like emoticons.
Fair enough.
Hell yeah.
But if I had a favorite emoji, it would be the praying hands because nobody ever uses it in context, and I use it ubiquitously to mean thank you.
Yes. Oh yeah, that's my favorite one too. Actually, that's probably my favorite.
Yeah,
one, if
because
I have to.
it's actually supposed to be high five.
oh, is it?
No, it's called praying hands.
Weird.
No, it's literally called praying hands. If you look at what
I
you have
think
to type in,
I heard originally it was supposed to be high five, but I could be way off.
Yeah, in Discord, it's either pray or folded _ hands. But yeah,
I use it as I'm praying for you. You need Jesus.
Speaking of saying our prayers, do we have to go down this hole, Freeman?
oh, there's our loose segue. I love
I
it.
tried.
You certainly did. I mean, you don't have to. We could call the adventure here. I'm not telling you have to go down I am going to tell you that it's your only way down. It's your only way down. So
what's the next AP, Freeman? Let's just call it here.
Tulok lives.
Tulok lives forever.
Tune in next week for the start of Strength of Thousands. James will not be joining us since it is a wizard school.
That sounds right.
Hey, you know what? Guys, hear me out. We take our
Okay.
characters. We get out of the gauntlet. We all hop on a boat, leave the Isle of Kortos, and pretend nothing ever happened.
I've seen the end of Shawshank Redemption. We've already crawled through the shit. Let's get out of here.
But yeah, Freeman, you want to lead us in, or otherwise I got something.
Yeah, no, for sure. So we left on a reasonably dramatic moment with Lump, and I actually almost said camp in my head.
Oh boy.
It took me a sec. However, we did kind of pass over a little bit of shopkeeping in those moments. So we did it off screen, off mic. And Krucka had some opportunity to roll some checks on the research whilst everyone else was doing it. So he's gone ahead and rolled 5 of those checks, 2 of which succeeded. Sorry to say, one of which succeeded thanks to the bonus that's offered by the library itself and Augrail, who keeps it organized. And that gave you 2 more points towards, I believe you chose Nimbaloth to continue researching, because that's what was most recently, we got a whole bunch of info on. And you actually did hit the next threshold, just barely.
Woo. That's C+ in reading comprehension.
I'm going to quickly cover that, given it takes a bit of reading time for me. Let's just get it through. You have the choice of covering dogma and worshippers, holidays and aphorisms, or relationships with other religions. Which one of those would you like to hear about, to discover in your research?
I mean, probably the dogma.
Dogma and worshippers. Okay. Let's get a little more. Let's start this episode with a wee bit of info dump. Dogma. Nimbaloth's creed and worship are entirely the product of her cultists, as the Empty Death has little interest in providing her worshippers with direct inspiration or direction. This tradition echoes the pattern established with all other cults centered on entities of the Elder Mythos, who similarly care not for their worshippers. Because of this lack of divine direction, while their worshippers strive to accomplish specific goals, they aren't limited to anathemas. In Nimbaloth's case, her worshippers seek to create undead, particularly ghosts and other incorporeal creatures, to provide sustenance for their eldritch icon. They also feast upon carnivores at their ceremonies, aping Nimbaloth's predation upon soul-eating monsters. Her faith is all but unknown in urban areas, but in isolated swamp villages, worship of the Empty Death can suffuse entire settlements. In such instances, the cult typically builds the shell of a mainstream church to serve as a front and satisfy any curious outsiders passing through, while worshiping their goddess at a hidden location in the heart of the night. As far as worshipper goes, lower-level clerics of Nimbaloth dress in whatever corpse's attire is commonly used in their society's burial rites, choosing to wear a final suit or a last gown during their rituals in hopes that sweet oblivion might answer their prayers. Cult leaders, however, often eschew this tradition, instead wearing dark green or gray hooded robes adorned with tangled sheets of clinging moss and skull-shaped masks adorned with veils of additional moss. The cultists favor flails in combat. These weapons often have heads shaped in 4-pointed stars, with the flail's chain attached to the center of the star and handles wrapped in moss and tanned flesh stripped from the dead.
Can I just butt in here and say that's metal as fuck?
Pretty cool, yeah.
This aesthetic is just little death.
It is pretty cool.
Little moss, little
it's
nature.
dark,
I fuck with it. I love it. Okay, sorry.
I love that it's like, it feels undead-like, but without the specific focus on worshipping the undead. There's undead adjacent for sure, but it's really about oblivion. And I love that. To me, that is super metal. Humanoids are far from the Empty Death's only worshippers. As mentioned, will-o-wisps and their kin find much to admire in the sinister aura Nimbeloth's presence brings to desolate swamplands. And doesn't take long for them to take up faith in the Empty Death, almost as if feeding on fear spurred by her influence infects the wisps with devotion to her faith. Marsh giants have also been known to venerate Nimbeloth under names like Bogmother, the Rushlight Woman, Swampfire Queen, or the like, although they pray to her more as a patron of swampland than anything else. Vampiric mists commonly appear in the swamplands as well, and many scholars have nervously wondered about the implied connection between Nimbeloth's mark and the clusters of 7 perfectly spaced punctures vampiric mists leave in the bodies of those they fed upon through their misty tendrils. I'll give a hero point to anyone who recognizes a reference in that last bit. Anyone clue into something?
With the mark being like the hand thing that was on the...
Yeah, not what I was thinking. We've covered that before already, so that's not going to count. There was something else in that last bit.
Is one of her... I remember there being a 7-pointed star at some point.
That is the Sahedron, yeah.
It's not the Sahedron. No, it's a 4-pointed star. And it is like kind of, it was referenced in one of the previous researches that sometimes her physical form or avatar has that as its face, just a 4-pointed star instead of a face. Also, there was a 4-pointed star in the cathedral on the first floor where Samal died.
The 7-pointed star is from Game of Thrones. Got it. Nice.
No, it's in Pathfinder. It's called the Sahedron. It's for the Rune Lords, the 7
It's for
deadly
the Rune
sins.
Lords, yeah. Still not the one I was looking for.
Yep.
Anyone else?
Nope.
Did we see anybody get vampirized by misty tendrils recently?
No, but a marsh giant was what killed the fake character that Duncan brought in, and eventually Krukka came in to help defeat. Was not part of the adventure, but I included it because of that reference. Also, I can't remember. Actually, personally, can't remember who said it, but someone did mention the Rushlight Woman or Rushlight of some kind along this journey. I remember using it. I just can't remember where.
Probably me. I'm pretty smart.
If someone had remembered, I would have given the hero point for that.
I was talking about a bog mother, but it was more like a pejorative. I think about bogs like, the UK toilet kind of way.
Yeah, like bog roll.
Yeah, bog mother.
I love it. All right, well, that brings us back to the game proper. You got a little bit more information on Nimbeloth. I'll tell you, you got 2 more thresholds left for that topic when you want to come back to research more. However, I believe you've exhausted the library on pretty much everything at this point. You're really looking at the Whispering Reeds, which is dangerous to read. Let's get back into the game.
Didn't Ruff read the Whispering Reeds last sesh, or was that... Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And had to make a save while doing it. So Lump is on their way back to the rest of the group into the library area. Cam, take the wheel. What do you got?
Lump shakily removes the hat of disguise. I think is it the scarf of espionage now? Is that what
It's a
called?
scarf for sure.
It's not espionage. It's the
Scarf of espionage sounds badass, though.
Clandestine cloak?
That's what Q gives you at the start of a James Bond movie.
It's in your inventory.
Masquerade scarf.
Masquerade scarf.
Lump will untangle the scarf from around their neck and pause for a moment to think before heading back down through the teleportation circles, feeling their insides jumble a little bit as it tries to make sense of their weird physiology before arriving back with the rest of the group and quietly handing the scarf back to Tulok. I don't want this anymore.
Are you sure, Sal?
Sal is dead. There is only Lump.
Tulok nods a little bit sullenly, because to him, he was really enjoying finding that spark of Sal. But at the same time, I think he is understanding of the fact that Lump is trying to embrace their own current situation, which is better than living in the past, and be who you are. And so with a little bit of understanding, he takes it back.
I was unable to procure the scrolls for Featherfall. We will have to climb. I need time to make my preparations. If there's anything I can do to help in the meantime, though, let me know.
After receiving back the scarf, Tulok eyes Lump and says, "How did everything go in town? Is everything okay?"
The town is as it was. I did not stay long, but I do believe that with time and us pressing forward, we can make it better. I do have something to share once you're all done, before we settle down for the night, as it were.
Let us know when you're ready. I'm eager to hear, and would like to know about the gauntlet, if there's been any change.
Lump nods.
Okay, so after doing that, Tulok... Oh, we're all still in the library, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I think Tulok will just settle in and be trying to get some rest. He really is feeling that, still that pull and that push to get down there, and is worried about time, and he's just settling in very anxiously. Wants to give Lump their time to do whatever they need to be doing right now, but fidgeting, looking around, maybe just has the machine gun missile wand in his hand and is just kind of flicking it around like just fidget spinner style.
That's safe.
What are you gonna do, you know?
I think Ruff will come back in. I imagine he spent the majority of this time in either the library or the reserve collection with Augrail, you know, doing his Nimbleoth research, as well as kind of just catching up with Augrail. It's been a long time. I mean, it feels like it's been a long time, at least for Raphael. I'm sure it's probably only been like a week since they saw each other.
Well, no, they never met.
Ruff didn't make it this far?
No, Ruff left after the event in the graveyard, which happened before he even went into floor 2.
Oh.
You know, that brings up a very interesting point about,
Wow.
you know, they have something in common. Undead.
Yeah, so maybe they're just connecting. They've discovered a kinship of through death. And, you know, I'm sure Augrail's just like helping him, pointing to different books and locations. And
Yeah, because Scott, Raphael's not undead.
no,
Says you.
He has been returned. He has been resurrected. But he's not experiencing unlife, as it were.
He does seem to have a lot more than the normal amount of life going on in there.
yes,
Yeah, exactly.
that he does
Yeah.
have. Yeah.
If anything, he's much further away from normal life. Yeah. It's not a bad point, though, is it? Because, like James said, they might have some connection on just the experience of death, however vague it is for either of them.
They've both pierced a veil. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I imagine the whole time they're talking, like his tattoo of Pharasma is pulsing, you know, giving him some sort of like maybe a slight headache because he's not trying to destroy this undead being.
Yeah, because, I mean, Augur would know what that symbol is.
Oh, yeah.
But tries to kind of divert he probably goes out of his way to divert the topic if it ever comes up, because he's probably a little bit wary about it.
Right. They're both just
Just
dancing around at like an awkward moment at a party.
Yeah, he does it more like a,
Oh, I've always thought about getting tattoos, but I can never commit. Got any advice?
Krucka pops up. I just found a nice tattooist, but I think they only do tattoos that say Serenity.
Oh, the library is serenity to me. That's fine.
Serenity now. It's interesting to look at the party makeup at this point in the adventure compared
Versus the
to
beginning?
when we started and even just when we got to this room the first time. So, you know, just going from like, well, Tulok and then little Physic the Alchemist and then some old guy that used to work on a boat.
Kind.
That's it, eh? Two classics, fighter sorcerer, one kind of weird offshoot alchemist, kind of fun. And then suddenly cleric sorcerer alchemist, and then champion sorcerer
But I'm talking
alchemist.
like Flesh Warp
and then,
to
yeah. Right, yeah.
whatever the fuck you want to call rough.
A good boy.
That's what we want to call her up. He's a good boy.
The sweetest Shaika.
Oh, the sweetest. All right, so you're bedding down, I guess, taking some time, resting, resetting again, taking more time. I know there's some restlessness happening. There's been a lot of idle time. Well, not idle time, but a lot of time not dedicated to pushing forward, I should say, recently. But so I'm sure some anxieties are there.
Yeah, Tulok is eyeing Lump.
And when you walk in on Lump, you see them removing their armor, and you can hear the sound of a metal screw on bone as they unscrew their armor from themselves. And they lift a tendon and a muscle flap to pull out one of the plates, setting it on the ground.
Oof.
What?
I love it. It feels like you've got like pockets of like scarring and muscle tissue that no one would ever notice at a glance because it's designed for armor. You know, like your muscles are designed for armor, kind of thing. It's so weird, and I love it.
Yeah. And they take off the breastplate, and you see a tattoo of Callistria. Anybody that's trained in religion would recognize it right away. And Lump just takes a moment to look each of you in the eyes with their eye. And do you know any spirits that are wandering this place? They show up as green. I believe they go by Otari.
We have met Otari, yes.
He needs our help.
I think only Tulok has.
True.
Oh no,
Yeah, Krucka did.
Krucka would have been there.
Oh.
Krucka would have been there.
My bad.
He needs our help. He's down below. And he said that things are going to get bad if we don't hurry. So tomorrow, I'm going to climb down those chains. There will be no waiting. There will be no respite. We are going to hit them and anything down there as hard as we can. Are we in agreement?
Tulok nods. I'm glad you've come around. I knew in my heart that we haven't been pushing hard enough. That we need to be down there. That we need to stop this. I understand. I understand that I've been pushing everyone, and probably too hard. But it's only because the fire burns inside me to deal with this. Lump. You would have made an incredible warrior for the enemy. But they never ruined the most important part about you. Your spirit, your mind, and your morals. And they just created something they never would have expected to fight against them. And it is their mistake. And Tulok looks around at his companions. They won't expect this motley crew. These people I see with me here. They would never expect this band. And that's why we will hit them hard and they will never see it coming.
Ruff is listening. He's sitting on one of the cots in the corner, just flipping through the spell book chained to his belt. Mr. Tulok, you may have overlooked our friend. Lump's most poignant quality. Their heart.
And Tulak nods.
And both of Lump's hearts beat faster.
Krucka grips his axe and gives a smile and says, I'm glad you've come around to wanting to hit them hard. For as they say, you must speak softly and carry a big stick. And when the hitting is done, you can resume speaking loudly.
Oh, God.
Do Lump's hearts beat simultaneously? Are they perfectly syncopated, or are they at two different rhythms?
It's definitely like a two-stroke engine.
Just two-phase power out of the heart.
But yeah, Lump is incredibly touched and moved, and honestly feels better about leaving Sal behind than ever before. Like, ready to face this. And we'll just look over at Krucka and just say, did we ever decide on Lucka or Crump?
Whoa, we can go back and forth. They both sound great.
All right.
It's Vegito versus Gogeta. Just depends on the moment.
Art is subjective.
You can't use that line again. That's already one of our episode titles.
It's a fucking callback, Freeman.
Yeah, come on.
The audience loves that shit.
This is going to be Art is Subjective 2 in Roman numerals.
This is our flashback episode. We all just talk about stuff we've already done.
Jeez, real filler.
Yeah. The writers are on strike this week.
All right, quick, everyone go to sleep so we can go downstairs and get into fights. And Lump just curls up with their shield.
So I have Gecko Grip. How many of those should I prepare?
Looking at the chain, and being a master in athletics, how difficult do I think it would be to climb down this chain? Like, if you had to give it a number value.
Yeah, fair. Shit, I should have...
A difficulty class, if one were to say.
Yeah, just a difficulty check. I don't know which one it is.
So I would call this as like basically rigging or rope. Effectively, they are very large chains, though they are old and kind of looking very much in disrepair. But that's just as a sample task is considered. You just need to be trained to navigate it. So I don't think it's going to be hyper difficult. It's just going to be a lot of checks and a long time if we're going to do it. So. If what you're gunning towards, Cam, is your inside ropes a lower DC than climbing the chain itself, I'm going to go with yes, because the chain itself is in disrepair.
Okay.
That's your short answer.
And Gecko Grip is a 10-minute duration, so as long as we can walk that far in 10 minutes, I can prepare at least 2 of them if I need to.
I think your spell slots are much better used for doing big damage as a magus than this. And Gecko Grip, you said, huh?
Yeah, it's the remaster Spider Climb.
Arcane and Pineapple. Okay. My inside ropes makes it a DC 5 athletics check to climb down. It's gross, but it's very, very easy for us to just get down there, grab onto the chain, and then just keep going down.
I'll do it, but I'll be going, yeah, the whole time.
Squishy. And I figured Tulak will probably just fly.
I'm going to go with Gecko Grip, I think, because Raphael has a stealth of 14, so we could theoretically just run down the side of it because he's got that extra movement with second level Tailwind. So we could just run down the side, have Gecko Grip for 10 minutes. You could effectively stealth
down the side instead of having to climb, yeah.
Well, I think he'll stealth like the bottom bit and then just kind of walk along the ceiling stealthing, see if if he sees anything, just as, not as a vanguard, but as like a scout activity. But he will be taking the stealth exploration activity.
All right, yeah, well, so I guess reserve 1 for yourself, and Tulak can fly if he needs to, and it seems that Cam or Lump is ready to do inside ropes as much as needed for whoever remains. I guess the two that remain.
Can Lump, go down their own inside ropes by tying them to something up top?
Yeah. That's like the entire thing is I can climb down them.
Didn't you do it in the Shanragal Behemoth fight?
Yeah.
Oh, right. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So
Tulok will choose to
love it.
fly.
It's
I'm
so
just going to say that right now because
okay.
Icky.
All right, I'm gonna bring you back down to the prison level. Then you've been in the library for long enough. You come down to the prison level. Do you take the teleporter down, or do you make your walk your way down? Do you go to the level above the teleporter and walk the rest of the way? What do you do?
teleport as far as we can go.
Yeah.
Okay, so you teleport right to.
We ain't wasting time, Barn. Didn't you listen to Lump's speech?
As you teleport, you shut your mouth. As you teleport to the 7th level, the prison level, roll me a couple of perception checks, if you please.
Like 2 each?
No, don't be silly.
Too bad. I'm going to be a little silly. For
I'm just gonna be a goofy little guy.
You know I don't. You know I don't stand for silly.
Okay. Oh, mid roll. 30.
You're the most out of the whole group.
Pretty much one away from the highest I could get, 29.
Mm-hmm. I can only imagine. I can only imagine that Raphael is like still absorbing this place, so he's quite distracted with his natural one. But everyone else, as you step out of this teleportation chamber, something catches your eye, and maybe it's caught your eye already on the map. But the swirling power of the gauntlet, perhaps unsurprisingly, has returned. Considering you were just on the surface and told about the light coming back. But it's not just swirling. Instead of like a 5-foot radius, it's like double the size. This swirling power of void energy at the center of that cross section, that intersection of this floor.
Question.
Mm-hmm.
Did we see it in the library?
You did, yeah. I probably should have brought that up, but it was sort of normal there, but it has returned there as well.
Tulok turns. It's bigger now.
Is there a way to dispel it or push it back?
There's nothing that we could find before. It doesn't mean we can't find something now. I do not know. But before, there was nothing we could do. Also, please do not touch it.
I wasn't going to touch the swirling vortex of void energy, but thank you for... No, it is a good idea to tell people because sometimes, you know...
I know that only an idiot would do that, but...
No, just intrusive thoughts, they happen. And Lump is going to start marching over towards the chains, and you just hear the sound of as they tear into their guts and wrap it around the chain, a bit of blood splashing against the wall.
So you guys make your way towards this 100-foot drop, this hole in the ground where this elevator ought to come up and down. And as you make your way towards it, perhaps this nagging sense at the back of your mind, Tulok, keeps some of your attention on that vortex. It's probably unnerving to have it at your back. You've been here the longest, you've seen the most. You know, you have to turn away from it. In this prickling in the back of your neck, the senses and the nerves across the top of your head kind of prick up as you prepare yourself to go down this shaft. You can't help but turn your head back for a moment, and you see out of the light float
Oh no.
a ghostly form gently towards you. And a voice speaks that turns you all around. The thing about vermin is that they are woefully and willfully ignorant of what pests they are. You all turn around to see the ghostly image of Belcora Harovex herself.
Whoa.
Holy shit. Lump is going to turn around. Don't speak so unkindly about yourself.
Yes. Fucking gutter.
She had 400
really
years
cool
to
art,
prepare,
though.
and she got immediately.
Really cool art. Yeah. She just like disregards you entirely.
Disapparates in embarrassment.
Yeah. Kind of hones in almost on Tulok and Krucka even, because they're both there. She's seen them both before. She says, "No matter how many of them you destroy, if you leave one behind, more gather with it, and they continue to fester, continue to be pests, because they are nothing more. They are their nature, and they will be no more than that." She keeps moving forward slowly.
You think that you're some sort of avatar for your god Nimbleoth. But Nimbleoth knows nothing of you. You are but a pest. You are nothing to them. You speak of nothingness. You sit and fester in your gauntlet, in your abomination vaults for hundreds of years, while the world moves on around you. And you are nothing but a ball of spite that I will see snuffed out.
She's kind of regards you half laughing, half ready to laugh, and half pitiful. Like she feels bad for you.
I think
She
she's in
says-
a candle.
You just proved my point. You know nothing of what is going on here, of what my plans are, of who I am. My guess is you know my history, but there is so much more to that. I do not consider myself the avatar of the dread empty death. Only a fool would think themselves that. You think me a fool, and that proves you are one.
Hubris. That's all I hear from you. You and all that we have met so far. All of your minions, all of your companions. They are nothing to me, much like you. The people above that you have so forsaken, that have turned against you and your family. They are the good ones. You are nothing in this world and do not belong here.
All of your accusations are the same from my point of view, except not in your words, but in every futile action. It's time you gave up. Roll for initiative.
Oh, book 3 is really short.
Okay. EBEG time. Level up before we start.
Good thing I already cast Gecko Grip.
We got some inside ropes going as well.
I would like to make the argument that I was attempting to intimidate this fucking creature.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to try and claim you cast fly already.
No, I did not.
Yeah, I'll give you intimidate, even if she isn't intimidated. You were given it the old college try for sure. What do you got? Tulok?
36, baby.
Ooh. Rough?
24.
Krucka?
Oh, speaking of rough, 16.
And Lump?
20.
20. Okay. We will begin the encounter with Tulok at the top of the order.
The only issue is I don't know what to do.
What spell did you do today for your cult evolution?
Oh, I didn't think about that.
Oh.
If you want to delay, I got my first turn covered.
Tulok will delay.
Ruff, if you want to delay, I got a heroism for you.
Okay. Tulok delays. And because we had rolled initiative is because Belcora started to wave her ghostly hands and cast a sweet, sweet spell.
It's not that sweet.
And
Not sweet at all.
I need to know what Tulok's fortitude DC is, please.
Uh-oh.
Okay. 24, sorry.
Oh my god.
Don't make that face.
She waves her hands like basically it just tells you it's time to give up and just telekinetically shoves you with a 34. And you go back 10 feet straight and into the hole and drop immediately.
He does get to grab a ledge or edge.
No, critical success pushes him beyond the edge. He's not falling at the edge. He's falling out into the middle first.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I won't argue.
That's how I'm ruining it. Because he hasn't fallen at the edge. He's been pushed straight out 10 feet, and then he drops. And she floats forward again. Right up in between. Now I'm going to go right up by Ruff and Krucka. Tulok, you immediately drop in this sudden moment, and you fall. I don't know in initial or exactly when it ought to happen, but I know it's going to be finished before the end of your turn, so I think it's immediate. But you are going to fall 100 feet straight below and take 50 damage.
Great.
Oof. At least he survived.
Ruff, what do you got?
Does he hear Tulok hit the ground?
You would basically hear him like slide backwards, maybe turn out of the corner of your eye, and just watch him go straight out and down out of sight. So you don't see him. Just gone.
But does he hear him hit the ground? Because that's going to make a big difference on what Ruff does.
I don't know. What are you trying to do?
If Ruff isn't sure that he made it all the way down, he's probably going to swan dive and try and catch Tulok because he's got Gecko Grip active. But if he hears Tulok hit the ground, he knows it's too late, so he's going to take action up here.
What would you Gecko Grip against that far out, though?
Oh, so the ambition would be to long jump. So he's kind of like diving down towards Tulok, but on an angle. So after he catches Tulok, he hits the back wall.
Okay. Oh my god. I'm gonna say no. You don't hear him hit the ground because I like where you're going. It's ridiculous. Effectively, he's going to fall 100 feet over the course of the next 4 rounds or 4 turns, I should say.
Okay.
Not 4 rounds, 4 turns. This unbelievably smug look on Belcora's face. Like, exactly what you've imagined every time I've written something about her or described her in a beautiful gown, and just everything is beneath her. Everything. Especially all of you.
Yeah. Okay, so first action, he's going to spend 1 action casting Scorching Blast just to see what happens.
Okay.
So he raises his hand and it just covers itself in fire, and he pushes it at this ghost of Belcora. It is a spell, so if she's got an AOO, now's the time.
Nothing triggers, nope.
So that'll be a 25 to hit.
No, not gonna hit.
Okay. Second action, he will enter his Arcane Cascade
Okay.
with fire damage.
I'm starting to forget how Magus works.
And third action, he's going to move and dive off the edge after Tulok while throwing Lump a thumbs up.
Oh my god, this is amazing. Okay.
There goes my hero, starts playing in the background. Lump looks over at Krucka, aim for the bushes, and then just steps backwards off using the inside ropes to catch themselves as they move.
To like rappel down?
As they rappel down.
Amazing. Okay, that's Lump's turn. Just
Yeah, so you said I already had the inside rope, so yeah, I moved down the wall 45 feet because I can move at half my speed. Or, sorry, no.
amazing.
10, so it'd be 30 feet, sorry.
Okay, cool. So you're 30 out of 100 feet down. Krucka?
Okay, awesome. I guess free action Krucka is changing the grip on his butchering axe, and he will step towards the ledge. Well, it was awful meeting you. And start climbing down Lump, I guess.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. It's time to say it like that.
Start climbing down Lump. Oh, Krucka, could you not squeeze so hard? That's my lower intestine.
You should really look at your fiber intake.
Jesus Christ.
Okay, assuming Krucka can auto succeed in all these as well, what's the distance that he can climb?
Same as me.
Same as you? Okay, so you're pretty much neck and neck on the well, head to butt on the same intestinal tract. Climbing down. We'll call you 5 feet apart for the sake of not sharing the same space. And then the real question here is how do I rule what the hell Raphael did, because it's now Tulok's turn.
So, for the record, he won't hit terminal velocity for 450 meters, so theoretically I can catch up to him if this is only 100 feet.
Yeah, I know falling rules are like, it's a huge amount that you fall instantly before you have to calculate how much further is left.
It's 500 feet in the first round of falling.
Yeah. So, given you have a very particular intention here, I almost want to say, like, so you're going for an effective, leap or long jump, but I don't think that really, I think that kind of, in a way, helpfully allows me to say you've accelerated yourself forward and downward, in a way, and then your intention is to grab a hold of Tulok, right?
Yeah, like spear Tulok to the back wall or the side wall, like whatever he can, and just use all four limbs to stick himself like Spider-Man on the fucking wall, with Tulok like Baby Bjorn inside of his four limbs.
Okay.
Tulok's like the Balrog falling, and Ruff is like Gandalf just fucking diving down after him.
Just diving straight at him, just getting all aerodynamic.
Just this pudgy little Shuni in a perfect dive.
Yeah. I feel like this is an athletics check of some kind to like you're diving in, you're gonna grab him. Once you got him grabbed, you want to try and stop yourself on the chain?
One of the walls, so he can get purchased with four limbs as opposed to just two.
Okay. I'm gonna say roll me an athletics check. With we're gonna call this. This is gonna be a very hard adjustment to the DC.
That feels right.
Because this is pretty bold, and I don't know if I want to set this by level, or by like a reasonable climb task. What's your proficiency in athletics?
Untrained.
Oh shit!
Both of them.
That's not good. That is not good at all.
I know.
I really was assuming you were at least expert in it.
Oh no.
Nope.
Oh.
No.
Just the sound of two bodies hitting the floor.
Let the bodies hit the floor.
Okay, roll me an athletics check. I want to play it by what you roll here.
Okay. If I may.
Yeah, you may. Please may.
I think this may count as a grab an edge, even though he's not technically grabbing an edge because he's got that gecko grip active.
Grab a sorcerer.
The athletics is going to be for grabbing a sorcerer, but I'm also going to give you a reaction to grab an edge to stop yourself along the chain here, and I think it's going to be one fluid motion. So I kind of want to rule that if you don't get a hold of him, you're still trying to stop yourself at the same time. You're trying to do both at the same time. So even if you miss him, you're going to stop, maybe.
Yeah, his goal is no matter what to hit that back wall. Like just...
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tulok is straight edge, so it technically counts.
Yeah, so just so you know, there is no back wall. It is the chain on the far side. It's the only thing you can attach yourself to. That's what it's going to be. That's why it's a little bit hard to rule right now, because there is no back wall down this shaft. There's the front wall, but no back wall.
That's not how shafts work, but
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, more of a cliff at this point.
It opens up
roll lore
pretty
shaft.
Okay.
It opens up to a cavern below pretty quick.
Okay.
Where's Glash when you need him?
It is a natural 20 for a 24.
Let's fucking go, baby. Come on, man.
We love
You
that.
superhero catch Tulok in the middle of the air. Roll me a reflex save to grab that edge.
So that one is a natural 1 for a 15.
No.
How you doing on hero points, buddy?
Do you have any hero points?
Oh, wow. Look, they're going to hug all the way down.
So I'm going to start by using my 4th level once per day feat called Turn Back the Clock. So essentially, he just
Okay.
turns back time for a hot second, and I get to retake the roll with a +1 circumstance bonus from my last attempt.
Shaika for life.
Oh my
I
god!
like-
And this is that? Wait! Hold on. Turn back the clock. Oh, what action cost is that?
It's a reaction.
You spent your reaction on grabbing an edge.
Oh.
I don't know if does turn back the clock reset the
Does not.
action you took. No.
You hop back in your personal timeline so you can try again. So no. Okay, I'll just pop one of those hero points, see what happens.
That's a sticky one. I almost want to allow it. It's a very sticky one. It's
Yeah.
like you spend a reaction doing this thing, and you want to reset that, but it's got to be the same action.
Yeah, because you'd be on the timeline that you had already used the reaction,
Yeah,
and then you'd be
yeah,
wanting
yeah.
to use a second reaction to turn back the clock, right? So it makes sense that you wouldn't be able
Right.
to do it.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you nailed that ruling.
Yeah, I didn't expect that to be stopped in the tracks by that, but that's cool.
That's a 21 this time around though, with the hero point.
Okay, 21 this time around. So that, let's call that reflex save, happened as you dove in on your turn. Now you've pulled off this reaction not on your turn, which is Tulok's turn. And Tulok, Raphael suddenly just grabbed you midair and has like attached himself to the chain next to the both of you. I now want you to roll a grab and edge reflex save because there's no way Raphael's going to be able to hold on to you both in this sudden stop. I want you to grab that chain as well out of reflex to slow the fall.
28, baby.
Nice.
Nailed it. Do not take that 50 damage that I
Fuck
told
yeah.
you to take.
I'm just picturing Tulok falling like that, like, feeling, and then he's just falling, just like a back flop. And he just sees this fucking Shuni like a bullet come down, and they stick to the wall.
My God. Why is Raphael such a bad
Book and robe just fluttering out behind him.
What a way to start book 3. I'm just saying.
Seriously.
So is he pinned to the? Sorry, do we say wall or chain?
We're both hanging
It's
from
the
the chain. Yeah.
It's definitely
Okay.
a chain. So even if the shaft does go down, there's a back wall for a bit. Even if we imagine that, it does open to a cavern very quickly with a very high ceiling. And effectively, because of these RPGs, I'm not going to have this happen just before you hit the ground. This is going to be like halfway down
Okay.
because you've slowed the ascent really quickly. So you're 50 feet above. Tulok, it is your turn. You're now holding onto the chain with Raphael holding onto you. What do you do?
At bare minimum, a slip disc. At worst, a cracked spine.
Yeah, Tulok is just like, thank you, my friend. I didn't expect to see you coming. And will use 2 actions to cast Fly,
Okay.
and then is going to say, I have it from here. Get yourself down safe. And then we'll move 30 feet down. Or, sorry, I think I'm hovering straight down, so I think it's actually 20. But yeah.
No, it would be 60 because you can go twice as far. Going up is half, going down is double.
Thank you. 60 feet down.
Okay, so you can just like drop right down to the bottom.
Is there a check involved in not doing it on an angle, like the straight up and straight down? Is that? Am I misremembering that?
No, it's
from
just more like a
Warning?
difficult terrain thing.
Okay.
Yeah. You'd have to do a check if there was like extra things like high winds or something else like.
It's a hover check, too.
Yeah. And if you want to stay in spot, yeah. But if you want to just like gently fly downward and land on your feet, no problem.
I do.
Okay, 2 action fly, and then down and settle your feet on the elevator at the bottom. Tulok, as soon as you get down there, you smell this, like, it was already in your, like, on the edges of your senses before you got knocked into this hole, but now it is very obvious. This fetid, rotten air through this whole place. And you get down there, and you can see that what stretches out in front of you to the north is this lake, this fetid, green, murky, swampy lake with a dock that stretches out to the north, and a few little like rowboats along the dock. And at the end of the dock are 2 small creatures, kind of like doing something to a couple of the boats. And just as you land, they kind of like stop and turn their heads to look at you, and they both look like this.
Ooh, they're like ghouls from Fallout.
Dripped out.
And that's going to be your turn.
Hold on, but then he just looks up anxiously to see what's become of his companions.
You see Ruff, they're hanging at the 50-foot mark. You see Krucka and Lump around the 70-foot mark. And just as you look up, you see Belcora just float over the edge and looking down at you all. This just unbelievably smug look. And waves her hands once more and is going to go ahead and roll another attack roll at Krucka against his reflex DC, please.
24.
That is, I rolled a 31, so success. She has tripped you.
Uh-oh.
Roll me a reflex save as it knocks you from the inside ropes.
Being 70 feet up, I'm gonna do a hero point on that nat 1.
Okay.
31.
31 is going to be a success. You get like knocked off for a sec, and I'll just say that you like almost bump into Lump, but you just like pass Lump real quick and then grab the rope again, and one hand on the chain, one hand on the rope kind of thing. You're like more secure again.
Earthworm Jim fighting the booger on that bungee thing.
Yeah.
Vibes. Okay.
She just looms overhead. Raphael, what do you do?
How hard would it be to get to one of the side walls from where he is?
What are the side walls? You're pretty much in the same boat on the northeast and west. The south is the one that's that's sheer the whole way down. Everything else cuts off at basically where you're at, so it's just chains on 3 of the 4 sides.
Okay, so he'll just make sure he gets purchase. I guess one action to shift so he's standing on the chain, probably. Like one action stand up kind of thing. I don't know how else to do that fairly, but one action to stand seems right.
Why do you need to stand? Sorry,
Well, so he's going from essentially hanging from the rope to he wants to be standing on it with the gecko grip, like treating the chain as floor.
Oh, you want your hands free, basically.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, treat it like standing up. Just one action to go from prone to.
Okay, so he'll spend one action to move 35 feet straight down, so he's only 15 feet above the ground. And he will use his last action to the same thing. He'll just move so he's off the chains.
Okay.
Sorry that took so long.
No, you're all right. Okay, so you've just basically stood up effectively and then marched your way down to the bottom.
Yeah.
Lump?
All right, so there's a little bit to go on here. You said that Krucka hung on to the chain and my guts, right?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. Then, yeah, no. Oh, it does kind of matter because I'm about to, like, recast the spell, so I need him to be able to hold on to that chain with one hand so I can reattach it where he is and go another 50 feet down. Does that work for you?
Yeah, you want to basically change your grip on what you're climbing.
Yeah, so I'm spending that action to change the grip to like.
Yeah,
then
totally.
Okay.
Yeah. I love the reuse of a rule like that. It's so fun.
Yeah, I'll spend one action to reattach my guts. Like, just you hear it, and just the guts come down back into my stomach for a second, then just like fling them up and stick them right next to Crook's hand. Here you go, and then continue down 20 more feet, letting the guts hang past me, so that Crook can go past me if he wants to.
Krucka, hearing the unmistakable sound of several links of sausage being pulled from tapioca pudding, grabs on and
Visceral.
That was a very visceral description.
And we all heard it in our mind's ear.
you can't unhear it, listener.
So, how far do you make it down? Sorry.
I make it down 20 feet because I had to spend
20
an
feet.
action to recast inside ropes.
Okay, and that brings us to Krucka.
Climbing down.
So you're effectively starting at the 35-foot mark. And how many can you make it down again?
10 feet. Each action.
10 feet each action, so 30 feet total.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're down to 65 feet. All right, and this is a bit awkward here because I'm navigating two different maps here, which fucks with the initiative tracker a bit. Tulok, you're up.
Did the creatures do nothing?
They've only reacted to your presence so far. I've added to the initiative order now, but they haven't acted yet.
Tulok is just going to 3 actions cast a 4th level force barrage at one of these creatures.
Coming in swinging.
What is Force Barrage?
Magic missile.
Oh, right.
Yeah, new magic missile.
That's a substantially worse name.
Really? I love Force Barrage over Magic Missile.
I know,
Magic missile.
but that's what I like about Magic Missile is it just sounds like I'm a dork.
Fair enough. You know what? I'll give it to you.
Can't take that away from you, yeah. Scott and James, you should be on the next floor now, if you can see.
So that is going to be 17 points of force damage.
17 points of force damage. Do you want to go for the one that's on your left or on your right? The one that's on the left is straight ahead of you.
That one.
Okay. So how much was it?
17.
17. All right. Boom, boom, boom. Just launching it across the dock.
Oh,
on
wait,
this
hold
lake.
on. No. Sorry, I was trying to do get rid of the dangerous sorcery in my... It's actually going to be 6... I don't like that this isn't automated. Sorry.
Oh, yeah, because it only applies to once to the thing, yeah.
It's 11. 11.
Oh, so like...
Fuck, that kind of sucks, because the dangerous sorcery is +4, and then...
Yeah. The thing is that it's really good if you hit multiple targets. It applies to each separate target once, but only one target once. Yeah. So it's like... Force Barrage is great to like smash in one foe's head, but you get more out of it as a sorcerer if you spread it out. Suddenly becomes an almost AoE spell in a way. It's kind of cool. Okay, and that brings us to Belcora Haruvex, who just looms over at the top of the shaft and just calls down, "My children, feast upon the vermin." And she simply vanishes.
I won't be seeing her again.
And next up is one of these little zombie creatures. And it is basically it hears this voice come down the shaft, and it kind of bounces off the floor. This otherworldly, ghostly, incorporeal sound fills the cavern. Feast. And it starts to scamper along the dock towards Tulok and Raphael. What's its movement speed here? Yeah, it runs right up towards Tulok. And Tulok, you get this, like, this stench of this place. And Raphael, you can now smell it as well. And as you do, it just gets thicker and worse as this disgusting creature, this like child-sized zombie, just starts rambling towards you. Let me just double check when that is triggered. It's going to be at the beginning of your turn. So this thing runs up towards you and just takes its best punching swing at you, Tulak. And it's going to be 17 to hit.
Definite miss.
Definite miss. Okay, that brings us to Raphael.
Raphael, with his first action, will step. And then with his second and third action, he is going to channel.
Oh, sorry, you began your turn, so it's I need a fortitude save against this odor. And as you step up towards it, like, and you do this thing, you realize that the odor's like coming off this creature, but it's actually coming out of its mouth as well. And as you kind of approach it, you realize that it's making you breathe the same thing it's breathing out. And you have this sense of your lungs being filled with fetid, gross, stinky water.
Okay, Raphael feels that mildly, because as a Shuni, he has the ancestry feat Blunted Snout. So whenever he rolls a save against an inhaled threat and olfactory effects, he gets 1 degree of success better.
Sick.
So that's a 20 on the fortitude save.
It is a success, and that means you're temporarily immune. However, despite how I described it, this is not an olfactory effect.
Oh, okay.
It comes with a smell, but the effect itself is like something weird that's filling your lungs. It's more magical in nature than your gut would tell you. But you are good anyway, regardless. So you step on up. What do you do?
He's going to spend 2 actions. Firstly, he's going to charge Ignition into his spell strike, and then he's going to just let that fly.
Oh boy. I love this. Oh, I love this class so much.
It is not easy. Okay, make a melee strike with the weapon. That's going to be an unarmed attack, because he has not had an action to draw his blade yet.
Oh, yeah. Shoot. I mean, you can just cast Ignition at it instead.
Yeah, I mean, it's
if
fine.
it's not in your favor, just throwing it out there.
It's fine.
And wait, can you do it on your unarmed attacks? Unless, I forget the rules on that.
I believe so.
Is there a...
Yeah.
Ranged is the one that matters, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, maybe you're right. Yeah.
Into a puncher sword thrust is the first line. So that's a 28 to hit.
Perfect. That is a hit. Yep.
Okay. So that will be 10 points bludgeoning, 2 points fire, and then the ignition damage.
Okay.
That'll be 15 fire damage on top.
Okay. And you can see that this thing is oddly resistant to your fire effects, perhaps because of its weird, buggy nature. But boom, boom, you still managed to get some damage in. Lump.
How much further down the old inside ropes is Kruka from me? Because I'm 50 feet down.
You're 50 feet down? And
Yeah.
how much further is what? Sorry, what's the question?
How much further down is Kruka?
I don't know. No, I don't understand. Sorry.
Isn't he a little further up?
No, because you climbed past me because I had to spend 1 action to attach the ropes, and then I think that you're 5 or 10 feet below me.
What's your climb speed? 10?
Yeah.
12?
Lump is going to descend 10 feet and reach out a hand and cast Heroism on Kruka. Go get him. And that's my turn.
Okay. And that's going to bring us to the other childlike zombie on the dock, who is going to get some running in as well. He's going to zoom around the dock and get to the other side of Tulak. Can't quite flank, but is going to go ahead and try and punch. 18 to hit. Oh, not great at all. Doing real bad over here. And Kruka.
Okay, so we've got another 50 feet to go, is it?
You have 40 feet to go.
Okay, so he's just going to climb the 30 and free action let go of the intestines.
Oh, sorry. For how much feet? from up?
10 feet of falling, so...
Okay, so you get down there and just drop? It's okay. So you're good for health. Boom, drop. And that's your whole turn?
That's my whole turn.
Okay. Tulok, you're up.
Let it be known, I'm an idiot, and I just realized that the reason that I wasn't doing much damage is I forgot to double the amount of force barrage
Missiles.
I use. Yes, that's why. I was like, why the fuck is this so shitty? But that's okay. We're
Oh.
moving forward.
You didn't do enough barrages?
Yes, because I got double the barrage.
There weren't enough of missiles in your barrage.
There was not enough missiles in my barrage. Okay, but that's okay. We're forgetting things, and that's okay. So, do I need a fortitude saver?
We're all getting older.
Yes, you do.
That's a 5 on the die. I'm gonna go ahead and just fucking hero point, because... Ooh, exact same roll, so 19.
It's a meet to beat.
Ooh, okay.
Bit of a waste of a hero point.
Sure is, but you know what?
That's why you should always wait to hear Freeman say pass or fail.
I know, I just
Almost said it.
forget because, back in the day, you had to do it before it was announced.
Yeah,
That's okay.
ideally,
Yeah.
you're supposed to, yeah. We've been terrible at it, though.
Tulok will move back 30 feet and will cast telekinetic projectile, sending a stone at the most eastern creature.
Okay, so you run to the southeast, and that's when you first realize in this fray that the cage, this big cage that's most immediately next to you that I didn't describe yet, actually has this hulking skeleton inside, and it like rouses like to the movement that's happening, yeah, there's like this creature is like inside of it.
What the fuck? Why
And
does the bone go over the other bone? That's not how bones go.
It is like so trapped inside and stuck, and it fills the entire space of this cage. Like it cannot move, but you just see it stir in response to you moving by. And then as you're running by, you see there's another cage next to it, and you can tell that there is also a creature in there that looks like this that starts to stir.
Ooh.
As you turn around to cast your spell, one of the spots you step over as you come off the dock, you step over this like piece of dirt and gravel and move a little bit further, and just underneath your feet as you step away pops up another one of these creatures from the earth, just bursts out of the ground as it's like ready to attack. And that's what we're gonna call it.
Oh, you son of a bitch.
Wow.
Tune in next week for crab mantises.
And telekinetic projectiles at children zombies.
Yeah, make a note. Next episode, start with a telekinetic projectile. Stemming the Tide is an actual play podcast of the Adventure Path Abomination Vaults and is produced by the Uncharted North Network. Stemming the Tide uses trademarks and/or copyrights owned by Paizo Inc., used under Paizo's community use policy. We are expressly prohibited from charging you to use or access this content. Stemming the Tide is not published, endorsed, or specifically approved by Paizo. For more information about Paizo Inc. and Paizo products, visit paizo.com. Music is composed by Will Savino and artwork by Greyhood. Stemming the Tide is recorded remotely using Foundry Virtual Tabletop. If you wish to connect with us or support this project and projects to come, we can be found at unchartednorth.ca, patreon.com/unchartednorth, and on all major social media platforms. Links to all credits can be found in the episode description and our website. Thanks for tuning in.